The world watched in astonishment. White smoke billowed from the chimney atop St. Peter's Basilica. A son of the Philippines, Luis Antonio Tagle, had been elected as the 267th Pope, the date forever etched in history, October 25, 2024. From the bustling streets of Manila to the grand avenues of Rome, a collective gasp of joy and disbelief rippled across the globe. The Catholic Church had embraced a new leader, one whose humble beginnings and unwavering faith promised a papacy of compassion and change. The news spread like wildfire, igniting celebrations in parishes and homes across the Philippines. A nation long accustomed to hardship found itself thrust onto the world stage, its favorite son elevated to the highest position in the Catholic Church. From the smallest barrio to the halls of power, Filipinos reveled in the historic moment. The impossible had become reality. The selection of Cardinal Tagle, known for his infectious smile and pastoral warmth, signaled a potential shift in the Catholic Church. His election as the first Asian Pope in modern times generated excitement among Catholics worldwide. Many hoped his leadership would usher in an era of greater understanding and dialogue within the Church and beyond. The world waited with bated breath, eager to witness the impact of this momentous occasion. The weight of history rested on Pope Tagle's shoulders. He was not just the leader of the Catholic Church, but a symbol of hope for the developing world and a testament to the universality of faith. His election was a potent reminder that God's grace knows no boundaries, touching lives in the humblest of circumstances and elevating them to extraordinary heights. The world watched, prayed, and hoped, ready to embrace a new chapter in the long and storied history of the Catholic Church. Luis Antonio Tagle's journey to the papacy was as improbable as it was inspiring. Born in 1957 in Tondo, a bustling, impoverished district of Manila, he experienced firsthand the struggles of ordinary Filipinos. His parents, a bank teller and a shoe shiner, instilled in him the values of humility, service, and deep faith. These values, forged in the crucible of poverty, would shape his life and his ministry. Growing up in Tondo, Tagle witnessed both the vibrancy and the hardship of life in a developing nation. He saw poverty and injustice, but also the resilience of the human spirit and the power of faith to provide hope. These early experiences left an indelible mark on his heart, fostering within him a deep empathy for the poor and marginalized. Despite the challenges of his surroundings, Tagle excelled in his studies. He was recognized for his sharp intellect, his thirst for knowledge, and his unwavering faith. After graduating high school, he entered the seminary, drawn to a life of service in the Catholic Church. His professors and fellow seminarians recognized in him a rare combination of intellectual depth, spiritual maturity, and genuine compassion. Tagle's journey from the slums of Tondo to the Vatican was a testament to his character and his unwavering commitment to his faith. He carried the hopes and dreams of his nation and the developing world with him to the papacy, a living embodiment of the transformative power of faith and the boundless nature of God's love. His humble beginnings served as a constant reminder of the Church's mission to serve the poor, the marginalized, and the forgotten. From the outset of his priesthood, Luis Tagle distinguished himself as a man of deep faith and progressive ideals. He championed the cause of the poor and marginalized, advocating for social justice and inclusivity. His ministry was marked by a profound sense of compassion and a willingness to engage with those on the peripheries of society. Tagle's appointment as Archbishop of Manila in 2011 provided a larger platform for his message of social justice and inclusivity. He challenged the Church to confront poverty, corruption, and inequality. He spoke out against human trafficking and environmental degradation, urging Catholics to be responsible stewards of God's creation and defenders of human dignity. One of the hallmarks of Tagle's ministry was his commitment to interfaith dialogue. He believed that building bridges of understanding between different religions was essential for promoting peace and harmony in a world often torn by division and conflict. He actively engaged with leaders of other faiths, seeking common ground and fostering mutual respect. Tagle's progressive views extended to his approach to pastoral care. He was known for his welcoming demeanor and his willingness to listen to the concerns of all Catholics, regardless of their background or beliefs. He embraced a more inclusive vision of the Church, one that welcomed diversity and sought to meet people where they were on their spiritual journeys. A global church rejoices. The Filipino spirit embraces the world. The election of Pope Francis II sent shockwaves of joy and hope throughout the Philippines and the global Catholic community. The first Filipino Pope embodied the spirit of a nation known for its resilience, its deep faith, and its unwavering commitment to family and community. His election was a watershed moment, a celebration of diversity and a testament to the universality of the Catholic faith. Filipinos from all walks of life took to the streets, their faces beaming with pride. Churches overflowed with worshippers, their voices united in songs of praise and thanksgiving. The nation erupted in a spontaneous outpouring of joy, as if a beloved son had returned home triumphant. The significance of Tagle's election extended far beyond the borders of the Philippines. It resonated deeply with Catholics across Asia, who saw in him a symbol of their own growing presence within the Church. His election was a powerful affirmation of the universality of the Catholic faith and the richness that diversity brings. Throughout the world, Catholics celebrated the election of a pope who understood the challenges faced by people in developing nations. Tagle's humble beginnings, his commitment to social justice, and his message of inclusivity resonated with Catholics from all corners of the globe. A papacy forged in dialogue, bridging divides with compassion. From the moment he stepped onto the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square, Pope Francis II signaled his intention to lead a papacy characterized by dialogue, compassion, and a deep commitment to the poor and marginalized. His first words as Pope were a call for unity and a plea for prayers. "Let us pray for one another," he urged the throngs gathered below, "that we may be instruments of peace and reconciliation in our world." True to his word, Pope Francis II embarked on a papacy marked by a willingness to engage in dialogue with those both within and outside the Catholic Church. He met with victims of clerical sexual abuse, expressing his profound sorrow and pledging to address this painful chapter in the Church's history with transparency and accountability. Pope Francis II also reached out to other Christian denominations, seeking to heal the wounds of division that had plagued the Christian community for centuries. He engaged in ecumenical dialogues with leaders of the Orthodox, Anglican, and Protestant churches, emphasizing the common ground that united them. Recognizing the importance of interfaith dialogue in an increasingly interconnected world, Pope Francis II made it a cornerstone of his papacy. He met with leaders of other world religions, including Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, and Hinduism, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation in addressing the world's most pressing challenges. Mercy and forgiveness, Tagle's vision for a more inclusive church. Pope Francis II's vision for the Catholic Church was deeply rooted in the principles of mercy, forgiveness, and accompaniment. He believed that the Church should be a field hospital for the wounded, a place of healing and hope for all, regardless of their past mistakes or present circumstances. He challenged the Church to move away from judgment and condemnation and toward a more compassionate and merciful approach to pastoral care. He emphasized the importance of meeting people where they were on their spiritual journeys, accompanying them with love and understanding. Pope Francis II called for a more inclusive church, one that welcomed diversity and embraced the gifts of all its members, regardless of their sexual orientation, gender identity, or marital status. He believed that the church should be a big tent, large enough to embrace all who sought God's love and mercy. His vision extended to those who had become disillusioned with the church or who had drifted away from the faith. He urged Catholics to reach out to those on the peripheries, to listen to their stories, and to invite them back into the fold with open arms and open hearts. Challenges on the path of progress, navigating a divided world. Despite his best efforts, Pope Francis II faced significant challenges in his quest to lead a more inclusive and compassionate church. He encountered resistance from some within the church, who clung to traditional interpretations of doctrine and resisted calls for change. The issue of clerical sexual abuse continued to cast a long shadow over the church, testing the limits of forgiveness and demanding accountability. The global rise of nationalism, populism, and religious extremism presented further obstacles, threatening to undermine interfaith dialogue and sow seeds of division. Pope Francis II found himself navigating a world increasingly polarized by political, social, and economic divisions. The gap between the rich and the poor continued to widen, and climate change posed an existential threat to the planet. The COVID-19 pandemic, though waning, left in its wake a legacy of economic hardship and social isolation. Despite these challenges, Pope Francis II remained undeterred in his commitment to dialogue, compassion, and social justice. He recognized that the Church, while not perfect, had a vital role to play in healing the wounds of division and promoting peace, justice, and reconciliation in a broken world. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos and intriguing content.